Hello lovely people, and welcome back to the channel of nonsense at my review of the 2025 Triumph Trident 660, a bike that I think should have been called the Triumph Gateway, because that's what it really is. It's a gateway drug for big bike three-cylinder addiction, and I think this is one of the most affordable big bikes from a mainstream manufacturer you can currently buy. Lots of air quotes, because people will get angry at me in the comments for saying 8 grand is affordable. But in this review, I'm going to try and find out if this is just a brilliant first bike, or if there's more to it that you salty old dogs who have been riding on the roads for years can enjoy. Let's find out. When this bike was introduced at the back end of 2020, I rode it out in Tenerife, and back then it was £7,100, which seemed like a real bargain for a proper three-cylinder Triumph triple. Inflation has taken the price up now, it's £7,900, and if you want this fancy black and red paint job, it's another 100 quid. So this is basically 8 grand. You can also have it in black and yellow, which looks like a fantastic three-cylinder Bumblebee, black and blue, and there's a very new triple tribute model which has numbers on it and red wheels, and it's a little bit blue. Now, if you don't want to spend 8 grand in one go and get it on finance, it's about £84 a month. That's with a 1,600 quid deposit, and that's over 3 years at 2.5% APR. And then if you want to keep it at the end of that PCP deal, you've got to stump up about £4,200 in 3 years' time. Look at me doing grown-up finance stuff, because I've realised that not everyone pays their bikes in cash. But let's check out what's new on the new Trident, the Gateway. Does anyone remember Gateway computers from the 1990s that were advertised using cows? I'm really old. Just like your dodgy cyberpunk daydreams, it's had loads of new technology smeared across its face for 2025. It's now got a 6-axis IMU gyro stabilizer thing inside it. That basically means it's now got lean sensitive traction control and ABS, which is a good thing, especially if you're starting out on this, because if you grab a handful of brakes in the middle of a corner, you won't end up on the floor, which is, I think we can all agree, probably a bonus. But it's also now got standard fit cruise control and a standard fit up and down quickshifter. BMW would basically charge you your firstborn child to have that stuff, so well done Triumph for putting it on the Trident. The looks, other than the paint scheme, are pretty much the same. There's a host of accessories if you want fly screens or very de rigueur bar end mirrors as well. And I think it's a handsome looking thing. I quite like the fact it hasn't got twin headlights. It's this classic single headlight setup. It's just got its own character and its own charm, which I'm going to ruin by standing up next to it. It's not big. It's not very big. It's got a very approachable 805mm seat height, and it turns out my, yes, 805mm from the floor to those. But yeah, if I sit on it, I am 6'3". I will make it look quite small and quite ridiculous. And I would say if you're much over 6 foot, on long rides your legs do get splayed out in the wind and it's not very comfortable. So go and check out the Tiger Sport 660 instead, which I've got a review of coming in a couple of weeks, incidentally. But yeah, we've got an updated show, a separate function, big piston fork. That's new for this year to improve front end feedback and just general comfort. The preload adjustable rear shock is the same, so the Nissan sliding calipers, so is the dashboard. You can connect your phone to it. It's all very simple, but look, it's just so nice having a cruise control button. Oh, there's a new sport riding mode as well now for this year. But let's talk about the engine. I timed that perfectly. Now that hasn't changed, and that's a good thing. It's still a 660cc inline triple with 81 horsepower and 64 newton meters of torque. Most of that torque is available from about 3,500 RPM, and you go up to about 9,000 RPM with that amount of torque. Now it revs to about 10,500 RPM, peak power's at 10,250. The whole lot, the whole bike is quite light. It's 190 kilos wet, fueled, ready to go. So do you know what? Let's hop on it and take it for a ride. All right, let me drape myself on the Trident, and it turns on with this thing called a key. I don't know if you can see that down there. That's quite quaint, but better than keyless in some people's opinions. And it starts up with, yeah, classic Triumph triple sound. This one's warmed up. So, yeah, actually, when it's hot at the top of the revs, you do get a little burble, which is quite exciting. I'm already in first gear. Put my knees up. I feel a little bit cramped on it already. I am, as I've said, probably a bit too tall for this bike, to be honest. But straight away, it is just very easy to ride, and it's among the easiest bikes I can think of, other than a CB500, to actually ride, because well, you can shift from first to second using the quickshifter, and it's buttery smooth. You can tell Triumph has really worked on that. and the clutch is nice and light, the gearbox is nice and easy to use as well. Sorry, I'll go off-road. It's just, yeah, dead easy. The mirrors are nice and big, easy to adjust, although they are the sort that will eventually spin around in circles if you don't tighten them up with a spanner under there. So ergonomically, if you're not a 6'3" giraffe, it's quite nice. You haven't got barely any weight on your wrists, which is good if you're doing lots of town riding. It means you won't get wrist ache. But if you're going to do sporty riding, I would rather have the slightly more lent forward position of a Triumph Street Triple. And I don't normally talk about rivals this early on in this video, but I've actually been quite surprised how many people have been comparing this with the BMW F900R, which I've just had into review on the channel. And I thought, well, the BMW is in a class above this. It's really competing with the Street Triple. But when you look at the BMW finance deals, that's also 90 quid a month, so £8 a month more than this, and the deposit for that's actually less, so I could see why I'd cross-shop them. And just quickly, that BMW is significantly faster than this. It's got, I'd say, a little bit more tech if you add options on it, and it feels more sure-footed in the corners, and it feels a lot heavier because it is, and it's got lots more torque. But actually I have more fun on this Trident, mostly because the engine makes a great noise. It's very quiet, you're not getting any exhaust noise really once you're above 30 miles an hour. Not that you can hear when you're riding it, because obviously it's Euro 5 plus, and it's yeah, it's as muffled as any other modern bike. But anyway, I'm going to take it out, hit some twisty roads, and see if we can have some fun on my first triple. Hint, you can. Oh no, have they gone off the road? Or no, they've just got a flat. Torque! Lovely torque! If you've never ridden a triple before, I should just say before we cut to the twisty roads, it's an old cliche. When I was choosing my first bike, I chose a Triumph Triple. I chose a Street Triple with 105 horsepower. And everyone raved about that engine because they said it had some of the grunt of a twin and a bit of the top end of an inline four. And they're right, it still rings true. A triple is just an engine that charges hard no matter where you are in the revs, while making a really nice noise. But anyway, these aren't the twisty roads, I'll see you in a second. Now, as usual on the way to the twisty roads, I'll try and show you what it's like riding at motorway speeds on the Trident 660. Ah, look, there's an Opel Corsa. Hello, hello Deutschen Leute. Right, 70 miles an hour. This is a naked bike, so you are just you are a big windsock sitting up here, but it's not too bad. And the fact that you've got cruise control means on long journeys you can just sit here like a plum and, I don't know, play cards and play Uno or something. It's not too bad. It sits at just over 5,000 RPM in 6th gear at 71 miles an hour. And even though you've only got a 14 litre tank, it is good for about 150 miles, given that you can easily get 60 mpg on this. Perhaps the most surprising thing about the Trident dynamically is how good those Nissin calipers are at slowing you down. It feels really good on the brakes, they're super sharp. And it's on Michelin Road 5 tyres as well, which are grippy even in the wet. They're really good all weather, all season riding tyres here in the UK. They warm up nice and quickly. You're not going to want to do a track day on them, but on the road, they're a brilliant road tyre. They're not showing off. They're not saying, oh, I'm wearing super corsas, which don't get up to temperature. They just work, whatever the conditions. Right, let's talk performance. 30 to 50, you're there. It's quick when you're in the lower gears. It's got quite short gearing low down, but you know, when you get onto a nice twisty road like this one, it does just feel like a proper grown-up bike. It's not wallowy, it doesn't feel cheap and crap in the suspension. It turns in nice and quickly, but not in an uncontrolled, scary feeling way. It just feels quite assured, to be honest. And if you are a bit more experienced like I am, I can't do it today because I'm rolling the cameras, but you can ride this like a knob and have a lot of fun and not actually go to prison for too long if you get caught, because 81 horsepower is a lot less than you have on a street triple or something like that. But it means you can use the gears more and use the blipper and quickshifter, and they are just really seamless. Although I did just use the clutch for some reason, not really sure why. But I think this is where Triumph should do some marketing at more experienced riders who maybe don't want to fork out for a new street triple, because with these tyres and this chassis it's just really good fun, and you're still getting that triple noise and so much reassurance. The only downside is I'm just too big for it, really. It's a lot of fun, it's very fuel efficient. I like it. I'm finding it hard to fool. The brakes are good, the blip is good, the shift is good, the mirrors are good, the ergos are relaxed. It's very, very good. It's just not as hardcore as a street triple in the engine department. But anyway, let's head back to me for a conclusion. Okay, here's the sum up on the Trident 660. If you're new to big bikes, if you want a friendly first big bike that will look after you with all the electronic aids, but sounds great and actually feels a bit special and not something a bit humdrum, this is still a cracking bike for £8,000. If you're a more experienced rider who wants maybe a second bike that's not a sports bike or not a big tourer, you can have loads of fun on this still. That triple engine is a proper ripper. It's only then it's quite close in price to things like a street triple, and if you're experienced, you will have more fun on a street triple when you up the pace in the corners, the suspension's slightly better quality, it's revier, and so on. But don't discount the Trident if you like the looks, and certainly if you're smaller in stature. Really, really good bike. The only real flaws are, I don't know, I still don't like the dashboard. I know it's an affordable bike, but it does just annoy me, that Triumph shiny dashboard. And that's about it. The brakes are simple, but actually work so well, it's untrue. The ride sometimes with my mass on it gets a bit unsettled on really bumpy roads when you're pressing on, but I'm picking nits here. It's even nice that they've improved the casting or the stamping of the rear brake lever, which looked really cheap on the first Trident. It doesn't anymore, although the side stand still does look awful. But, you know, I have to remember it's a cheap bike. So yeah, there we go. If you've liked this video, and if you've liked the bike, please do hit like on YouTube. That's what it's there for. Subscribe to my channel, go down to the comments, and tell me what I've got wrong, because I know you will. Anyway, thank you. I'm melting. Goodbye. I need a chalk ice. Has your grandma got any? Have you got any grandmas left? I haven't.